SCP-973 is an anomaly that can't be contained within the Foundation due to its nature. It manifests on a particular 10-kilometer stretch of U.S. route and is constantly monitored by satellite surveillance. Any vehicles attempting to traverse this stretch between 10 p.m. and 4 o'clock are redirected by Foundation personnel. Trespassers are to be forcefully arrested and detained. The anomaly consists of two entities. SCP-973-1 is a police cruiser resembling those used by state troopers in the early 1970s. The vehicle is noticeably aged and damaged, large dents, a heavily cracked windshield, heavy rusting, and a loose rear bumper secured with duct tape. SCP-973-2 is described as a Caucasian male in his late 40s, wearing a trooper uniform from the same period as SCP-973-1. He's balding, slightly overweight, and sports a handlebar mustache. The anomaly appears at night when another vehicle enters the designated territory and exceeds a certain speed, which varies between 22 miles per hour and 70 miles per hour. When triggered, SCP-973 will appear behind the target vehicle and will engage in a high-speed chase, siren and flashes on. SCP-610, also known as the flesh that hates, is a highly contagious and anomalous disease or infection that affects biological tissue. It was first discovered in a remote village in Siberia, where the local population was afflicted by the disease. SCP-610 causes rapid and grotesque mutations in its victims, transforming their bodies into a mass of flesh and bone. The disease spreads through contact with infected tissue or bodily fluids and can be transmitted to both humans and animals. It is highly resilient and can survive in various environments, making containment difficult. SCP-610 can not only infect living organisms, but also has the ability to spread to inanimate objects. This aspect of SCP-610's spread contributes to its unique and dangerous nature. When SCP-610 infects an object, it causes a gradual transformation of the material into a fleshy, organic substance similar to the infected tissue of living organisms. This transformation occurs over time and typically starts with a slimy or mucus-like coating that eventually develops into a mass of pulsating flesh. The object's original form becomes distorted and assimilated into the growing organic mass. The Foundation has classified SCP-610 as Keter due to its contagious nature and the difficulty in preventing its spread. Several containment procedures have been established, including quarantining and sterilizing affected areas, as well as amputation or termination of infected individuals to prevent further spread. SCP-610 has been the subject of extensive research, and the Foundation has conducted multiple expeditions to contain and study the disease. However, many details about its origin and nature remain unknown, adding to its mystique and the ongoing efforts to understand and control. SCP-428 is to be kept in an electrified cell, accessible only through a corridor airlock. Access is restricted to Level 3 researchers and below, escorted by armed guards. At least 2 guards are always on duty. Personnel are advised to maintain a minimum distance of 2 meters from SCP-428 at all times. D-Class personnel, specifically those with low IQs and non-threatening skills, are screened and offered to SCP-428 once a month to keep it satisfied. SCP-1048, also known as the Builder-Bear, is an anomalous entity contained by the SCP Foundation. At first glance, SCP-1048 appears to be a typical teddy bear, with no unusual qualities when observed visually or physically. Its initial behavior was also quite benign, displaying a very friendly and affectionate demeanor. This led to Foundation personnel becoming quite fond of it, even allowing it to freely roam the site where it was contained. However, SCP-1048's benign nature concealed its true anomalous abilities. It has displayed the capacity to construct replicas of itself using a variety of materials, and the creations it makes designated SCP-1048-A, SCP-1048-B, and SCP-1048-C in the Foundation's records, are often highly dangerous and have resulted in the death and injury of Foundation personnel. Due to the considerable danger posed by SCP-1048 and its creations, it is currently under a Akita classification, and any instance of SCP-1048 or its replicas are to be contained and destroyed on site. SCP-999, affectionately referred to as the tickle monster, exhibits characteristics of a large amorphous mass with a gelatinous translucent orange appearance, weighing approximately 120 pounds and possessing a consistency similar to peanut butter. The temperament of SCP-999 can be best described as playful and akin to that of a dog. When approached, SCP-999 often responds with exuberant joy, slithering over to the nearest individual and leaping onto them. It emits high-pitched gurgling and cooing sounds. The surface of SCP-999 emits a delightful scent that varies depending on the individual it is interacting with. Reported scents include chocolate, freshly laundered clothes, bacon, roses, and Play-Doh. Merely touching the surface of SCP-999 induces an immediate and mild euphoria, which intensifies with prolonged contact and persists long after separation from the entity. SCP-999's favorite activity is tickle wrestling, often involving completely enveloping an individual from the neck down and tickling them until requested to cease. While injuries can occur, SCP-999 has never displayed any intent to harm others intentionally. In such cases, it will promptly withdraw and contract its body into a quivering form while emitting gurgling sounds similar to a whimpering dog, seemingly indicating remorse for accidental harm. SCP-4999, known as Someone to Watch Over Us, is a Akita-class SCP that cannot be contained by the SCP Foundation due to the specific circumstances needed for it to appear. Despite its Akita classification, SCP-4999 is considered non-threatening and displays an exceptionally kind and caring nature. SCP-4999 appears as a man dressed in dark formal wear, although its facial features may vary depending on the observer. It only manifests under specific conditions, typically when an individual is gravely wounded, in poor health, terminally ill, or on their deathbed. The person must also be completely alone and without any form of care during their final moments. When SCP-4999 appears before a dying individual, it sits beside their bed. It carries packs of cigarettes and offers one to the person, lighting both cigarettes if accepted or smoking alone if declined. SCP-4999 may hold the person's hand, rest its hand on theirs, or place its hand on their shoulder while remaining quiet and motionless until their passing. Reports indicate that no subject has ever disapproved or recoiled from SCP-4999's actions. Conversations between SCP-4999 and the dying person have not been recorded, with the person typically expressing gratitude for the offered cigarette. After the person's death, SCP-4999 vanishes, leaving behind the cigarettes as proof of its existence. There are certain conditions that increase the likelihood of being visited by SCP-4999, such as living alone, being non-religious, experiencing poverty or homelessness, having a history of mental illness, being a military veteran, lacking surviving family or significant others, and having little social standing or achievements. SCP-4999 displays compassion and empathy, offering companionship to those who would otherwise be alone in their final moments. Its preference for visiting individuals who have been neglected, rejected, or lack religious beliefs highlights its empathetic and humble nature. However, beyond these actions, little is known about SCP-4999's personality, as it remains silent.